Okay, so let's start. Okay, so let's start this day 3 or session 3 of Terraform integration with Gitlab CI, and so let me tell you what we have discussed in the previous classes. We have discussed 2 classes as of now, and in the 2 classes we have the first class is for installing Terraform and integrating some AWS configurations, managing you can say authentication of your secret key, access key, how you authenticate to AWS account using Terraform, and how you start the first, or how you choose the provider of your Terraform. So that we have discussed in the first class, whereas in the second class we have discussed the various details about your variables, about your Terraform components, like what is .terraform, what is your, just hold on, let me. Okay, so in the second class we have discussed about what is Terraform folder, how logs you maintain, or how automatically Terraform will maintain the logs inside that particular folder, how you manage the backend, like what is backend in Terraform, how you manage the TF state files in backend. So these things we have discovered, or we have just given a high level idea how it works, and how we started there, how we started that. And next part we will be covering here as, so hold on, let me open the VS Code inside this. So I am managing all the code inside this repository. So if you go here in the FTI training, so I am managing currently here, but we will soon create a new repository for it, and then you can able to see all the codes here. Okay, the first session doesn't have any code because it is starting like it is almost like starting basics of installation, so you have to do manually, and there is no Terraform code for it. Now what we'll do, we will just jump into some different, let me create a new folder, session 3. Okay, let me close the session 2, let me delete this, we don't want this log state. Okay, readme file is there, we don't want it. Okay, that is fine. Terraform training. Okay, so this is done. Okay, training. So session 3, let me rename it to session 3 code. Okay, now if you go session, we don't have anything here. Now we have discussed the components of Terraform in the previous classes. Let me give you overview of that again. If you have any questions in this, so please ask in the comments after this live video ends, or like whenever you want, when you're watching this video, just try to comment what you are facing issue, like what you are facing any issue in this, or so we can able to reach out and help you in this, and to start your learning, or you can say if you have any queries, just ping in the chat as well, or you ping me in the LinkedIn or something like this. Also WhatsApp group we have maintained, so you can query there, and just we can sort out your queries, so you can move forward in this Terraform journey. Okay, so let me, sorry, this thing. Okay, so we have discussed Terraform components only. So Terraform components. the main the first part is your how what is terraform .terraform folder, how you maintain .log file, log state file, and what we have discussed about backend, what is backend and how where you store backend. So we have used S3 buckets to store backend here, buckets, and then variables in Terraform. So we have discussed about the variables, and here we have used like how to manage dynamic variables using terraform.tf-vars files. This was the starting, or you can say beginning of the yesterday's code, yesterday's session. Now what we'll do, we will take some real practical example, like how you can use Terraform in your environment. So let's say what we'll do, we will create everything from scratch. Previously what we have done, we have launched in EC2 instance, and we have launched Apache manually, you can say manually. And then what we'll do, you have to enter subnet ID, VPC ID, security group, everything manually as a hard coded in your code. But what we'll do here, we will create everything from scratch, and what are the best possible ways we can use. I'm not going to use modules or any modules from GitHub. I will create from scratch, so you can able to start like how you can start your code from your scratch, and how you can relate every resources to deploy over AWS. So here if you see what we'll do, first we will create let me tell you the infrastructure, how it works in AWS. If you are not familiar with AWS, so let me tell you. So everything inside AWS, it's under VPC. So you have a VPC here. So this your VPC means your virtual private cloud. So everything inside your VPC, and now inside this VPC you will have a different subnets. So what is subnet? Subnet is you can say a particular lab here. So in this lab you can mention the different resources, like everything will be there inside the lab itself. Okay, now this is your, let's say, subnet 1 and subnet 2. Now subnet 1, subnet 2, so you can mention like this is public subnet, and this is private subnet. Okay, so what you can do, just mention how you can create a public and private subnet using this. And what you can do, you can connect, or you can say this is your bastion host now. So this actually this is a bastion host. Like if you wanted to connect to private instance, so what you can do, you have to go from here to here to connect to this. So what we'll do, we will just create a bastion host, and maybe if this is not possible inside in this session, so we will continue this in the next session as well. So okay, so because this is a big infrastructure, like you will not able to create in a single session, but let's see how it goes. Okay, let me change it to something issue with this, or stream. Four, 5. Maybe now it look better. Okay, so what we'll do, we will connect your like in what you launch in subnet. So every resource you can launch, like let's say you are launching, you're launching OS inside this subnet, and OS 1 and OS 2 inside the subnet. So this will be automatically, you can just try to assume that this is your private instance and this is a public instance. So this is the full infrastructure. Now to connect public instance or public VM, okay, from the public subnet, you have to connect internet gateway on top of it, so you can able to route this internet gateway through this subnet and through this VPC. So like this. So here you will be having your internet. Here you will having your internet, and internet will be directly coming here, and then it will be going by this. So just a normal understanding about the internet gateway, how it flows to your VPC. And so that is not the agenda to discuss about the AWS infrastructure, but I'm just taking so a high level idea so you can get it, and then we can plan it to have the entire configuration of your Terraform. So let me tell you, let me give you the hint like what we will be doing. So hold on, I have to insert again and again. So if you see here, what we'll do, we will create, let's do this manually first. And so what we'll do, we will create one VPC. Okay, in the VPC, document is empty, I don't know why. Just hold on, maybe issue with the, because OBS Studio is taking the much RAM, so I wanted to go here in switchable graphics, high performance. Okay, now let me log into it. Okay, so what we'll do, we will create a manually all the resources. Let's say we are creating VPC, so let's say my VPC, or let's say test, and I'm giving the CIDR block as you can give CIDR block 192.168.0.0/16. These are the resource. These are the CIDR block. Like this is a network we have to follow inside this VPC. Now this is a default tenancy. We are taking default as well, and let's create this. After creating this, you have to go in subnets. Now create the subnet. So let me choose the VPC, my test VPC, and then go to subnet. Let's say subnet 1. Now this will be your preferences, will be, let's say 1A East, US East 1A, and let's say the same region, so the same range dot 168.1.0/16. So in this you will see that this 192.168 is the same range followed by your VPC. We have changed only one because it should be the configuration. You have to study the CIDR block or how it works, but these are the things we have to take care of. Okay, it should be in the same range in the VPC, and when you create subnet, so it will be created. Now what we'll do, we will create a new next subnet. Let me rename this as private, and I will rename that as public. Okay, just hold on. 1B, same 192.168.2.0/24. This is available. Create subnet. So it's created. Now let me rename that subnet as public. Subnet 1 should be renamed as, you can rename from here, public subnet. By renaming this public and private subnet doesn't mean that it will be public and private. Like after renaming it, we have to make the configuration as well. So what we'll do after this public and private subnet, what we have to do, we have to hold on. What we have to do, we have to hold on. What we have to do, we have to create an internet gateway to so that our whole infrastructure should have the internet connectivity. So we have to create an internet gateway. So this is your IG test, internet gateway test, and create internet gateway. After creating this internet gateway, what you have to do, this is fine. Now what we have to do, go in the route tables. Okay, go in the route tables. Now everything is done. So what we have to do, we have created independently. So VPC created, IG created, subnet 1, subnet 2 has been created. Okay, now what we'll do, we will try to create the connectivity of this like VPC, IG and subnet. So to route the traffic from outer, like this is your internet gateway, so we have to route the traffic through the route tables. Route table will route the traffic, and then it will help you to like where traffic will flow. So you can flow your traffic as well, and then it will tell you everything about that. So let me create a route table. So or what you can do, when you create a route VPC, so automatically it will create a route table for you. This is also fine. So this is your, if you see, this is your my VPC test. So this is also route table created. So what we'll do in this route table, okay, let's create a new one. So you will able to get, say, route table test, and select VPC in which VPC you wanted. So my test VPC test, and just create it. Same thing I have configured. Okay, so now, okay, so do you have my VPC test? Now what we'll do, we will go inside this and we will edit routes. So we will edit this route that all the traffic, this is means all any destination, like all the traffic can enter my my VPC using this internet gateway. So internet gateway should be there, but it's not. So let's check internet gateway is created or not. IG is created. So it detached, is saying it detached. So we have to attach it to our VPC. So attach to VPC, go here and select my VPC, my test VPC, and attach it. After attaching, go back to your route tables, and then here we can just try to edit routes, and we will say that all the traffic coming back to my VPC infra, so it will be going through my internet gateway. So this is internet gateway, you can select and just save the changes. Now we have set this till here, like all the traffic will be coming from VPC through this internet gateway. Now like this internet gateway has the capability to give the internet to you. Now this internet gateway will be allocated to which subnet? This subnet or this subnet? Obviously public subnet, because private is private. There should not be any connectivity to internet. Okay. So what we'll do, we will go here in the actions, and we will tell that I wanted to associate the subnets. Okay. And that subnet is related to my public subnets only. So after saving the association, it will tell you that in the route tables, if you see this one, and if you go in the subnet association, so it will tell you that this is XSplit subnet and this is your without XSplit. So XSplit means you are already associated, and without XSplit means it's not associated. So that we wanted actually. And if you go in your, let's say, edit route we have managed, if you go in the routes as well, so it will tell you that which are the routes you have given. So automatically the first route is for VPC local connection, and then this for your this is for your internet gateway connection. Now what we'll do, we will go in the subnet as well, and we will check from there itself that whether the connectivity is maintained in this or not. So if you click on this and go here and route table, edit route table association, so it will tell you that it's associated. So I'm checking from both sides, so that is, you can check, but that doesn't matter now. Okay, so hold on. Now what we can do, this part is done. Now this part we have created, everything is created. Now subnet 1, subnet 2 has been created, private and public. Now this connectivity has been also created. There is no connectivity between this and this. There is no connectivity. Okay, So what we can do, we can go here and just try to create the instances over it. So let me reload it. Let me go in the instances. Okay, not in, no, like there is no instance running. So what I will do, I will filter running only and then launch instances. So I will launch one instance in private and one instance in public. So let me tell you, this is public instance. Okay, and I will choose, let's say, AWS only, because I wanted a web console, and there is no much requirement to go to the different AMI. So I will just choose that. Whereas let's say this I will keep at T2 micro only, like for free eligible. We are just testing it now. Key pair I already have, so I just use this every time. And let me allow SSH from anywhere, and then HTTP we don't want it, HTTP because we are not configuring anything in this. So I will just launch this instance. After launching this, what we'll do, we will just try to go in view all instances, or you can click here. So it will open that instance only. And if you try to see this, will have the public IP. I guess I have done something wrong, because let me delete this. I will tell you, because this is not, we have, let me terminate this. Why? Because we have launched in a default VPC, so we don't want it to launch in a default VPC. We wanted everything should be go in my test VPC and in the public subnet as well. So I will again launch, and then I will go to your, let's say this, your public instance. Let's say test instance test. This is fine, this is fine. Let me go and check with this, and in this is allow from anywhere is fine. Now I will go here and edit this network settings, and I will tell that I wanted my everything, my OS will be launched in my VPC, public VPC, and then this is your public subnet. So you can choose respective subnet. So my public subnet I'm choosing it, and it's disabled, so I will enable it. You can enable from here as well, like if you go in the subnets. So subnet you can enable from here as well, or network ACL, no, not in this. Edit subnet settings. So it will tell you enable auto assign public IP. So if you enable this, so because it's my public subnet, so I can enable it. And now if you come back to again, like if you refresh this, and if you let me select the different different VPC now. Okay, then let me select the different VPC, and let me this is default my VPC again. So it will again tell you that it's enabled by default. If you go to private subnet, so it will enable, but you have to enable it. Or you can, what you can do, you can go back to again and just try to figure out again. Now if you type public instance test, okay, this is I am choosing, and T2 micro, key pair is this, and network settings I will edit, and I wanted my VPC. So if you choose now, automatically it will choose enable. Okay, and then this is your security group and everything. They will tell you anywhere from 000 source type. Okay, that is fine. We are just focusing main thing on the networking part, and we will just launch this. After launching, what will go, we will test it out. Okay, so this part, let me refresh this. So it's running now. It will take time to initialize. So by the time, what we can do, we can go and launch the private one. So go here and launch. This is your private test. Go here, AWS, this is your fine, and edit this, and I want to launch my VPC only, but here I will choose private subnet. So automatically if you choose, it will tell you disable. Automatically if you go here, and it will tell you enable. So this part I was trying to showing you in the previous one. So this part is done, and I wanted to have anywhere, or you can just mention traffic, but I'm testing it, so it will be like anywhere traffic, but there is no connectivity inside this. So because there is no public IP, so there is no connectivity. So I will launch it, and now let's go back to the previous one. So this part is running, and let me click connect, and it will connect for you. So if you come here, and so it's running, so it's connecting. If you try to ping Google, so it will be pinging, because there is internet connectivity to this subnet and this public instance. Now what we'll do, we will go back to this instance. Now this is your bastion host. So what you can mention, this is your host, ctl set host name. This is your bastion host. I'm just set host name bastion host. So I'm just setting this. Okay, so this is your bastion host. I'm just setting it, so you can able to figure out which is bastion host and which is your private instance. Now if you go in the console again, and if you search for running, so it will tell you 2 instances will be running. This is private, not subnet, it's instance. Okay, so it's instance, and when you try to connect it, so there is no connectivity, but if you try to connect it, so it will tell you that you have no public IP, so they will not give you any this key. But how you can connect it, you can ping it. How you can ping it? So using public private IP. So this is your private IP. Go here in your bastion host and ping to this, so you can able to ping, but it's currently not pinging. You have to set some route here. So if you go here, if you go back to this subnet, let me go in subnets. So there is only one connectivity, that it's local. Okay, this is a private subnet, and you have to associate. You don't have to associate as well, because this is already done. Yeah, because this follows a different network, so it will not connect. If it is in the same network, so it will connect. So that you have to take, or else you have to add the NAT gateway. So that is a different concept altogether, but I'm just trying to show you that this part will not be able to connect, because there is a this is a private one. So what you do, means this instance I'm talking about, means this one, this is a private instance, so you cannot able to connect. So that is this is, you can say, database instances, but you cannot able to connect, and this is your public instance. So to maintain the connectivity, you can enter some different like AWS give you different services. So one, you can use the NAT gateway, and then you can figure out that you can do, but that is a different topic. We just trying to automate. So the whole process, what we can do, we will just try to automate everything using NAT gateway. Okay, sorry, it's not NAT gateway, I will be using Terraform. Okay, so using Terraform will be used. Or see, if you try to ping google.com, so it will not ping. Sorry, in this you can able to ping, because it's bastion host. I am just telling you, if you go inside this instance, if you go inside this instance, public private instance, how you can connect? You cannot able to connect. So this is private one. So you can go with the help of this one. So currently I don't have any private key. This is a private key, but it should be in the PEM format. I will show you when you launch this instance using Terraform. So just a basic idea, high level idea I'm giving. Now what we'll do, we will destroy everything now. We will destroy this, terminate this, because we will launch everything using Terraform. I'm just giving an overview like how it works and how we can manage everything in Terraform. So it will take time to shut down. Bastion host, you can say a public instance from where you can connect to the private one. So connecting to the private instance is not possible within the cloud. Like you cannot. There are different ways you can connect, but the general agenda they follow, like you have to create a Bastion host, jump box, or public instance. Both all are the same category. Like the terms are the different, but the meaning is same. Bastion host or jump box, or that is you can use. So that was the question has been asked. So I think I have already addressed it. So this part is done. I think it's shutting down or terminated. Yeah, it's terminated. Now if you go in subnet, so we will delete the entire VPC. So it will automatically, if you delete the VPC, so automatically it will try to delete everything in your subnets or internet gateway. It will delete. So if you delete, so it will tell you that these things will be deleted. Private route tables, everything, private subnet, public subnet will be deleted. If you delete it, so it will delete, and okay, it's deleted now. Okay, deleted. Now what we'll do, we will go back to our own, and let's say session 3 code, and what we'll do, we will copy the provider and backend, because these are the same one, and we will paste it here. Let me close this. So provider will be your same, like AWS provider, okay, and backend will be your this one only, like I have already have the backend inside this S3 bucket that is created in the previous class. Okay, so if you go here, and it will tell you that, yeah, I've just given the unique name, so like it should be unique, and I can easily create, like without wasting much time on the naming conventions. So that is done. Now what we'll do, we will create a VPC. So let me create vpc.tf. okay, so resource, you can use resource block, and you can use VPC AWS VPC underscore VPC. Or if you don't remember, so what you can do, you can go to documentation, Terraform documentation, or you can say AWS VPC Terraform. So it will tell you AWS VPC. I'm not using the module, I am just using the official documentation of your Terraform only. So it will tell you this is required, so I will just use, or you can see use this one for with the help of your tag name also. So let me replace this. I will tell you my test VPC, and this is my CIDR block. So it will, you can use this CIDR block, or you can give your own, but I am just keeping this only, because the main agenda is to not figure out the CIDR block, not figure out the name, just try to make the configuration using Terraform. So you can check this out, and let me create subnets.tf. go back to this, and it will tell you to create a subnet. So how you can go, you can search for subnets, AWS subnets, AWS subnets. So this is your AWS subnets, and it will tell you this is your subnet, and I will just use this one block and another block. So this is the like I'm not following any like to short your code or to use loop or some for loop, you can say. I'm just following, I'm just using the like you should be familiar with the basic one. Like if I use loop, if I use for loop or some high syntax, so it will be really confusing for you. So I just trying to create simple so you can understand it well. So this is the first one, and AWS main.id, how you can retrieve this. So this is the main part. Hello. Okay, I think voice is low, so let me arrange it. Okay, so this part, if you try to see subnet, so I'm creating a subnet. So this is your subnet name, resource name, like it's followed by your like AWS gives you like which resource you want to deploy in AWS. So I'm currently deploying AWS. Now what should be the object name of it? So you can say a reference name or object name you can use. So this is your main one, or let's say this is your public subnet. You can give any name here. Yeah, you can give your name also here, that is fine. But for naming convention, I'm just using that I can identify this is a public subnet and this is a private subnet. So this is your private subnet. Okay, now what we'll do, we will retrieve like for every, like when you try to create your VPC, when you try to create, let's say if you create subnet, so it will tell you to add your VPC. So this I am doing here. So how you can do it here? So VPC ID will be retrieved from which like where your VPC ID. So I will tell, let me split this, and so I will tell them that I have the VPC ID here. So how you can retrieve it? So you have to follow the syntax. You have to follow resource name dot reference name or object name dot id. So you have to follow this resource name. My resource name will be this one, AWS underscore VPC dot main. Okay, because it's my main VPC dot id, like this. So this is the ID. So there is no ID inside this. So you will see like there is no ID inside this. So but automatically it will tell you when you try to deploy, it will retrieve the ID from the state file. When you try to install the configure the VPC, so it will give the VPC ID as well. So that is we are doing. So that's why they have mentioned here AWS VPC ID. Now they accept CIDR block. This CIDR block is same as when you try to use let's say I'm using this, and it will tell you subnet name and then CIDR. This is required. Okay, this is required. So you have to give this name, the CIDR block of your subnet. Okay, so what I will do, this is 1 and I will make this is 2, because both are different subnets, and there should be network configuration should be different. Okay, so now what we will do, we will just use, this is your private subnet, public subnet, and this is your private subnet. Okay, let me erase this, or let me save this as well. I will just make this here so you can able to remember. Save it. Now this part is done. So I have already this subnet, this part is created. Now what we'll do, we will just try to deploy this, whether they're having this, means they are deploying or not. So what we'll do, we will go not here, we will go inside this. I am inside this session 3 code only, session 3 code, and what I will do, I will just use Terraform init. So init, and it will configure the backend first, then it will try to install the provider, and it will create .terraform folder and log folder, and then it will just try to initialize it. by the time if you have any questions, okay, resource subnet, public subnet, here the public subnet is object name. Yes, public subnet is the object name. Yeah, public subnet is the object name, reference name. You can term as any of one of this. Okay, voice is pretty low. I think now it should be working, I guess. Okay, so if you have any much question you can ask till the time of this initialization. And object name, yeah, this is done. Now what we'll do, we will use Terraform Plan. So it will tell us that how many resources will be deployed. So if you use Terraform Plan, so it will tell us that how many resources will be applied here, or it will be adding or changing or destroying. Currently there is no restriction because we are trying to add it for the first time. As you have written main in VPC ID. Okay, if you see, if you are not getting, so this is your VPC AWS. So reference name, how you can retrieve it. So it will be AWS underscore VPC. This is your reference name dot main dot ID. This is your reference name. So in subnet I have written the same one, AWS VPC dot main dot ID, AWS VPC underscore VPC dot main dot ID. So this is a reference. So it will retrieve the ID from this block where it will be placing here. Okay, so it will be telling you to add 3 resources. Why? Because one is subnet, sorry, one is VPC and 2 other subnet, public and private. So let me go above. So this is your private subnet. Okay, this is your private subnet and this is your public subnet, and this is your VPC. Let me just go through this. There is also one like in the subnet setting I have given you enable and sign. Okay, this is fine, but you can also see from here as well, map public IP on launch. So so it specified true indicates to launch instance launch into the subnet associated with the public IP. So you can mention this, this is true, default is false. So what I will do, so if you come here and it will tell you in the private one, so map public IP on launch, this is a public subnet, and I wanted that as soon as any instance chooses this public subnet, so so it will be auto assign to that public to that instance, like what I have mentioned here now in the console, like while creating the subnet, where it is gone. So if you see not here, I don't want to create, but I showed you in the last time that when you create any instance, let me create this instance, any instance, so it will be, it's not in the running state, that is the previous thing you're seeing. So I wanted you that this edit one, I wanted this should be enabled automatically when you chooses public one. So currently it's showing all the details, but because this is just VPC, so I wanted it should be enabled by default. So that's why I am using in the public one, map public IP on launch is equal to true, and here it will be false. If you don't mention, that's okay, because it will take sorry, map, because it will take by default as false only, but to make the difference I just wanted to add it here. Okay, but that doesn't mean this means all the instances residing in this public subnet will be having the public IP automatically they will get, and here they will not get. So if you try to plan it again, so they will tell you that now in public it will be true and in private it will be false. So if you go here in the public one, so it will be now true, public IP on launch true, and in the private it is false. So what we'll do, we will just apply and auto approve it. By the time if you have any questions, you can comment in the chat, and so we can able to check. Okay, so this part is creating, main is creating, and the creation is complete of VPC. Now they're creating public and private subnet. So private subnet completion created complete, and some public subnet also created successfully. So this is your resource 3 they have added. Now if you go to your VPC, in your VPC, and if you search for your VPC, so this is your VPC they have created, and if you search for subnets, so they will address you to add private and public, it's publish. So what I will do, because the name is changed publish, so what I will do, I will just try to change from here itself. So it's public, save it, and then if you try to apply it, so it will apply. So if you try to see, like, we are not going to the AWS console, we are trying to automate everything from Terraforms, like we are maintaining the cloud automation using Terraform only. So yeah, now they will be running this and making changes in your subnet also, subnet net want to change, it's telling want to change, and it will be, so one they have added, let me refresh it. So it's now sub public and subnet, because I haven't, after the apply I made the changes. So now I'm doing again for the subnet to make the spelling correction. Okay, it's done now. If you come here, so it's done now. What is the agenda? So we have to create the internet gateway as well, this part, internet gateway. So if you go and search for AWS internet gateway, internet gateway or internet gateway, this part, so you can copy this code and it will tell you everything what you can add it. So I will create a new folder, so new file ig.tf, save it, and the same thing I will add AWS main, AWS VPC main, AWS VPC main.id, and I will tell that this is test ig. You can give any name here. I'm not I'm not creating any variable, I will create later, that's okay, but I'm just showing you how we can add it. So if you try to now plan it, so it will be adding means this internet gateway they will create, and they will attach this internet gateway to this VPC ID. Okay, so same thing they are maintaining. so they are planning to add one only, so that is internet gateway. Now after adding this, it will be creating an internet gateway in your AWS console, and it will be attached to your VPC. Okay, so this part is done, and if you come here in the VPC, or in the internet gateway, so automatically they will have one test IG and it is attached. If you see, this is attached, so everything is configured. This your VPC internet gateway is subnet 1, subnet 2 is configured. Now we have to create the route tables to flow the traffic from your internet gateway to VPC, and then VPC to IG, and IG to your subnets. So what we'll do, we will go here and search for route tables, AWS underscore route tables, AWS underscore route tables, route underscore table, route table, default route table. This is route table, so you can attach this one whole. We will make the changes in this. So what I will do, I will go here and create a new file, rt means route table.tf, and paste it. Similarly, I will go here, and here it's main, it should be main here, it should be main, and I don't want it. See, basically I wanted only to have the routes of your internet gateway. Let me explain you how it works. So if you go in the internet gateway, so in the route tables, so this route tables is automatically created by your VPC. So this VPC, I'm not touching it, I'm just trying to tell you that this is a local one. So if you edit route, so I wanted to create another route with adding the routes of your all destination with your internet gateway. Okay, this part we have to do, but not in this, not local, not manually using Terraform. So what I am doing, I am going inside this route table. I am telling that I wanted to connect this route table or attach this route table to my VPC. This is my VPC, and the starting destination will be my 000, means any destination 000/0 any destination, and it will be my routing, like all the traffic. This is all traffic, and or any destination. So it will be going to your VPC, this VPC, through your internet gateway. So if you go in the internet gateway, ig.tf, so this is my GW. So this is your reference ID, reference name. So you can give here GW, and you can make the changes. And let me remove this because we don't wanted egress only gateway, we just wanted route gateway only. And this is your test RT, and is also, you can say test RT. Save this, and after saving this, if you try to run this, plan this, so it will be telling you that you are trying to add one internet gateway into it. Test test RT. Okay, yes, that's correct, Spandan, that is correct. We can say internet gateway is a gateway to access the public instances only, public resources, you can say public instances or public resources. So this they are telling that that is, they are just trying to add one resources of your internet route table. So this will be, they will be telling that they will be retrieving everything, that is gateway, internet gateway ID, and your CID block, the name, VPCID, everything they are maintaining. So what we'll do, we will just apply it. Applying, and you can check here. There will be new route table available after the after the successful applying of this code. So it's created. Okay, one disk was added, and if you refresh it, so it will be telling you that one test art is already there. Now this routes we have maintained, so this is local. By the time it will create local means this using this we have added one only, so we have created two. Why? Because by the default, if you attach VPC ID with the route table which you are creating, so it will take the default one. So that is default. This is default. This is default, and this is what we have changed. Okay, so in this route table we don't have any subnet associated, so they don't have any explicit subnet that is associated, only have without explicit, like that is not associated. So we wanted to associate this public subnet to this private this public subnet to this route table. So you can go and check for route table association, or main route table association, or you can go route table association, this one. So they will tell you route table ID association with this. So in this they are telling that you have to associate route table. This is your subnet ID and this is your route table. So I will go here and I will create route table association below in this only. So I will tell them that this is route table, and the name of the route table is this, like the reference is the name is this. So this is the reference name, the reference name is this. Okay, and this is the ID. By default it will take the ID. Now the subnet name, which subnet you wanted to retrieve. So I will tell them that this is the public subnet, so I wanted to retrieve the public subnet ID. Okay, retrieve the public subnet ID, because I wanted to integrate or attach my public subnet to the route tables, like the public route table where I have already added the internet gateway. So now this is your public one, and then RT route table association, you can give the reference name as well. So in future if you wanted, so you can retrieve the ID of the route table association as well. Okay, so this part is done. Okay, this part is done and this is closed. Now if you wanted to add, if you see here, there is no association right now. There is no association in this part. There is no association. Okay, no subnet association to this route table. So I will add it using the apply command. Okay, so one will be added, and they are telling that this will be added. The subnet ID is this public subnet ID, and this is added. So when you go and refresh it, so go in this and then subnet association. So they will tell you that this public subnet has been added in the explicit subnet, means they are associated, and the non-associated subnet are private one, that is we have to separate it from the association. Okay, this part we have done. Now what we'll do, this part is done, so everything is done. Now what we'll do, we'll go back to our EC2 instance. Here we have the code of EC2 instance, so you can take it from here as well. So this is your resource.tf and this is your EC2 instance. Okay, so come here in the session 2 code, let me ec2.tf paste, and this is your sub let's say public instance, and AMI ID will be copying from somewhere else. Instance ID we are keeping as t2 micro, t2 and micro OS name will be giving, this is a public instance. Okay, now they wanted, okay, so this part is done. Now what we'll do, so we will create again the same resources, or let me make this whole, like the whole code will be maintained. So terraform.tf, I have the AMI ID. How you can grab the AMI ID? Go here in your this part, and it will see, like if you click on the launch instance. So I wanted to have the AMI ID of your this part. Okay, this is a, so you can take it from here. This is your AMI ID, and just replicate it in the ec2.tf here, and t2 micro here, and then this is the public one. Now I wanted to launch in which subnet, like this instance will be launched in which subnet. So if you type subnet ID, and then subnet, which subnet you want. So I will take the reference of this, go here in the subnet.tf, and I wanted that this is my subnet name, this dot your private or public subnet. So it will tell you like private or public subnet. So my public subnet will be launched in public subnet dot, it will tell you what you wanted. So I wanted to retrieve the ID of it. Okay, now you can copy this and paste it here, and this will be your it will be added here, private subnet, private instance, and this is your private subnet, or you can add private subnet.id, and this will be your private. Okay, this part is done. This part is done, and so this part is totally done. What you can, okay, just plan it first. So it will be telling you 2 resources to add. Okay, so 2 resources will be added. This resources will be this is your first EC2 instance, as is private or public. This is your public one, and above will be your private. Let me apply this. But if you remember, I have done some mistake here. No, that is fine, I think I have just put the same, but it's different. Network should be different. So if you go back to the instances portal, AWS, so the first one is still creating private and public. EC2 instance, so it's still creating, and will be creating soon in the instances. So completion after 36 seconds, so 2 added. Okay, so if you go here, so this private and public instance is running. Now if you see, private instance will not have any public IP, only private IP. Similarly, public instance will have public IP and private IP as well. So if you try to connect to the public instance, so it will connect to you. It will take time to connect, or will take some time, or if anything missed, so we will check it. So currently it's initializing. Let me connect again. So it's saying unable to connect to your instance. So let me check why it's not connecting. So if you go in the route tables, if you have subnet association, you have already public subnet added, and then subnets, already added, right? And it should work. Let's connect again. Configure for more tasks. It's not configuring. Okay, let me check. Most of the time it will take time to connect, but let me check again. In EC2 instance and your VPC, this is your VPC, and public subnet, but we have to check whether we have launched in public or private. So this is a public subnet and this is private. That is fine. Okay, the main part, why it's not connecting, I will tell you. So if you try to see, this is public one, so there is no security group which we have attached, or we have attached a default one. So this is default. So if you go back to default, and they will tell you that it's not all traffic, it's all traffic, but it will able to connect to this security group only. So this is the one of the to manage the attacks from different regions. What they told you, like all like this the resources which having this security group, they can able to access anything inside your OS or VM. So I don't wanted this, I wanted to create new. So what I will do, I will go and just search for AWS security group, security group, this is security group. And if you go here, and they will tell you this is the whole code. Go here and just try to create hg.tf. okay, now if you go here, so I wanted to have the security group, this is the name, LOTLS, everything is done, and this is the same thing, like my VPC ID will be retrieved from this AWS main.id, so same thing. And this is CIDR block, so it will go in aws.main.cidir block, and it will also retrieve the this part IPv4 but it's not needed currently. Or you can mention this, the same IPv4 is not needed. Okay, save, and this is 00 -1 -1, and this part from port range you can mention 22 to 22, and yeah, or you can mention from 0 to 0, that's okay, 0 to 0. So I'm maintaining all traffic here. -1 means all traffic, so there should not be any connectivity any issue in the connectivity. So I'm just trying to, after launching the security group, what we'll do, we will just go in the subnets, okay, in the subnets, and I will tell, okay, this is your subnet. It's not coming, so go back to your AWS subnets, AWS subnets. They will tell you that what is needed and what is not. So this is your AWS subnet, and they will tell you that you can enter the not in the subnet, sorry, not in subnet. I wanted to go inside your EC2. Like for EC2, which security group, what are the rules you have to follow? So this is your security group, and you have to mention in the string format, and I want, sorry, not in the string, in the list format, because one instance can have multiple security groups attached. So I will go here and search for this security group is I have it. So I have added dot allow TLS, sorry, it's not coming, allow TLS dot ID. Okay, same thing inside this. I'm keeping everything all traffic as of now because of security. Like I don't wanted any connectivity issue, so that's it. Okay, so this part it will tell you to attach the security group. Like if you go in the EC2 instances and instances, or you click on launch instance, so it will ask you for like which AMI do you want to select. This is a new graph, like the web UI has been changed now. I don't know why they changing something. So let me configuration detail, add security, add. So this is a security change next security group. So this part we are trying to add. Okay, this trying to add. So we have maintained all traffic as like this and from anywhere. So this thing we have maintained in the, so we can connect to instances. Let me do plan. Let me save this first. Subnet is saved already. Okay, ec.tf, let's do plan. So it will be telling you to so they are added to destroy. What they are destroying, the instances will be destroyed and they will create the new, because we are implementing the changes, like we are implementing the changes over here. So that's why we are adding this security group to this. So they will destroy and add it. One will be added your security group, and two will be changing in your subnet EC2 instances, that is public and private, and they will do this by destroying the instances. Okay, 3 will be added and 2 will be destroyed. So first they will destroy, then they will add. So security group has been created successfully, and now they are creating private and public instances. So still they are creating. So creation complete, and they have added. Now if you go and search for running instances, so they will tell you these are running instances. And now if you try to connect to the private one, public one, because you cannot connect to the private, because they don't have any public IP. So I'm connected to the public one only. So if you connect now, so you can able to easily connect, I guess. Okay, so it will take time. That is now it will still in the initializing state. And if you go to the security group, now what we have added, so this allow TLS we have mentioned here. So if you go and click on this, so you will see you have two rules now, or let's say only one rule, that is only two rules will be added, that is your egress, this one, and not the egress, this part I'm telling about. This is your two rules, so they will be added, this one also, this also. So go back to this and now connect to the it's not connecting, just hold on. This is your local one, all traffic to the local one, all traffic to anywhere. If I do, you may change, you must not specify an IP. TLS from refresh it. Okay, so network access only not there, but let me delete this and let me add it manually here. Why it's not connecting? Save rules, saved it, and if you refresh it again, yeah, now it's connected. Might be the issue with the inbound route only. Let me edit it. So what we have changed it here, so it should not be, let me remove this first. Okay, let me remove this, and also let me remove this, we don't want it. Okay, this part is done. TLS from VPC, CIDR block. Okay, so CIDR block should be not this. Okay, this part is we missed, so it should be anywhere. So 0.0.0/0. It should be /0. So any destination, anyone can able to ping to any of the port. Okay, so let me apply this again, and let me close this. It will just try to destroy it, or change the rule. Let's see. Okay, so 2 to add, 1 to change, and 2 to destroy. So it will be destroying, I guess, because public instance will be destroyed because you are trying to destroy the security groups. So security group will not able to change anything, so you have to, like, you cannot change your resources that is dependent on different resources. So you have to destroy it first, and then it will be applicable to change anything. So if you are trying to see, we are changing everything from our console, our Terraform only. We are not going to we just did something for testing only, this part security group, but everything we are trying to maintain the automation using Terraform. So it's quite simple to automate your Terraform with your AWS cloud and different cloud. So that is the fun part, you can see. Still creating. Okay, so it's creating, it will be creating soon. Creation completed. Now if you go back and search for, let me close this and go in the instances again, that is running. So if you refresh it, so 2 is running, and this is a public one. And if you search for security group again, security group, and if we check the rules inside this, so it will be only one rule, so that we wanted. So it will be all traffic to anywhere, to all traffic to instances, like anyone able to connect. So if you go to the public instance, if you try to connect it, so now you can able to connect. Yeah, now you can able to connect. And if you try to ping a google.com, so you can able to ping. That is working fine. Now if you wanted that your instances, this one private instances is also can able to connect or not, so you have to ping this. You can try, see it's connecting. Previously it was not connecting by manually, because of the security groups, like we are not maintaining security group correctly. Like we have added the separate resources of it. So in the separate resources we are just trying to add everything independently, so that's why it was not connecting. Now it's connecting. So if you try to say this instance, public instances will be treated as a bastion host. This is your bastion host, and this is your private instance, or you can say database instance. So this private, okay, so this private instance will be treated as a database instance, and public will be treated as a bastion host. So lots of the clients or lots of the developers, they will come to the bastion host, and they will try to ping or connect to the databases like independently. So that is the one thing we have to take care of. So nobody will able to go inside, like you cannot connect to this instance because this is private one. And if you go back to private, sorry, this one, and this is private, there is no public IP, so no one able to connect. If you wanted to make more configuration, so what you can do, you can go in the security rules, and you can tell this security rule is for your public instance, that is bastion host. Okay, so who can connect to bastion host? Anyone can connect. Okay, anyone can connect to the bastion host. And this bastion host, if you go to this security group, because we have maintained security group, like the same security group is applicable to both. Okay, so if you try to see, anyone can connect to this, but what we can do, we don't wanted anyone connected to this, we wanted only my bastion host users can connect. So I will tell them that this is my public instance, that is my bastion host, and this is my private IP. Okay, this is my private IP. So I will slightly go here, and I will tell them that I wanted to connect using this private IP only, because for security reasons, what you can do, like this is your security group. Okay, just hold on, we cannot add here, cancel it, because it will be reflected to that one also. So what we can do, let me tell you with the help of code, so it will be easy. So let me tell you that this is your public instance, public security SG, public OS SG. Okay, public OS SG, you can mention like this. And what you can mention, the same name you have to mention as well as in your ec2.tf. so this is your ec2.tf. and what we can do, we can create the new instance, sorry, new security group that will be there for your private SG OS. Okay, so I will tell them that I don't want, egress is fine, like egress outbound rule is fine, this is fine, but I wanted all things should be accessed, okay, using the private IP. So how you can access the private IP? So what you have to do, go here in the ec2.tf, and you will, like, I wanted private IP of this, so how will retrieve it? Okay, did you understand this what we are doing? This is for your public instance. Like public instance means bastion host, anyone able to connect it. Okay, that's the requirement we are following. But in the database instance, or you can say private instance, we are not supposed to give all permissions or all connection or all traffic. Like anyone should not able to connect to this instance, because it's our critical part, and we are trying to maintain like the rules, firewall rules in it. So we will try to tell them, we will try to tell Terraform that I wanted only my bastion host, this is your bastion host, public instance, your bastion host will able to connect to this security group, and if they connect to this security group, so they can only access this like this instances can only access via this security group. So this instance is your database, and this is accessed with the help of your public instance only. Okay, nobody will able to access this. Okay, so I wanted any user that is related to your or that is coming to your bastion host can able to access this. So I wanted that this IP of this public one, IP of your public one dot, sorry, it's opening again and again, I don't know why, dot public, it's not coming, let me copy it here and paste it here, dot id dot private underscore IP, like this, or let me check, retrieving private IP of EC2 instance. You can search like this and they will tell you. So instance and AWS instance, and they will tell you what are the resources you can take as output. Okay, so if you go here and they will tell you, so this is the output block, you will see below. Let me type private IP. So this is a private IP, so we wanted this. So how you can access? So address associated with it. Okay, so let's give a try. This is the public instance, this is your public instance, and inside this there is no private IP, but when it launching the resources, they will retrieve the private IP independently. So this part we are seeing, and we are trying to filter this. Okay, now if you try to plan it, so they will tell you two resources will be one, I think one will be destroyed, or let's see how to destroy. Let me save all this, save all. Let me hit again. I have just it's giving some error. Let's see what error they are giving. Okay, so we have to add the security group. Allow TLS is not there, so we have wanted to add this here. Allow TLS is not there because we have changed the security group reference name. Okay, so that's why it's telling you. So understand it first. What I wanted to tell you, that this instance having this security group, this one, this instance will have this security group. Okay, and this security group will be this security group, this is private one, right? So this security group will be having, or will be accessed via this one. Okay, or you can mention the name as well, but this part we can mention private IP, that's fine. You can mention the security group name as well here, but we are trying to enter the IP only. Now if you try to run Terraform Plan, okay, so they will add it. so they will be adding 4 to add, 3 to destroy. Everything is fine. 4 to add means two instances will be added and 2 security group will be added, because we have changed the name of the security group. Like we have changed the public and private name here. See here, public we have changed. So if you change it, so it will be creating it new, and 3 will be destroyed. Why 3 will be destroyed? Because like we have changed the name, so 2 instances will be destroyed and 1 security group. So if you see this is your public OS will be adding, and private OS security group, and public and private security group, and they will be destroying 1 security group, and they will be destroying your instance, public instance and private instance. Okay, so this part they are following, or if you try to see restriction they are completing, and then they will add the respective resources. Huh? Okay. If you have any questions till now, you can comment in the chat, or you can ping in the group discussion, like WhatsApp, respective WhatsApp group. Okay, so invalid allo TLS already exists. Okay, so it's telling allo TLS already exists. Now they are telling that allo TLS already exists for VPC sg.tf. So sg.tf VPC main is done, and this part is done. Allo TLS is already exist. Okay, so description complete. They are not destroying it because maybe we have added somewhere else. This part security group, public, private, this is done, but invalid is a group duplicate. Okay, they are trying to create a duplicate for it, but we don't want it to create a duplicate. We wanted only. Okay, got it. So what we have done till now, see this name should not be same, so we are giving the same name here as well and here as well. So let me, this will be private SG, OS SG. Rules may be the different, but you should give the different name. Okay, so let me not Terraform Plan. Okay, let me plan it, apply it. So it's creating now. Okay, so invalid CIDR block. is not a valid CIDR block. Why? In the subnet, right? Subnet not resource se.tf. Okay, so let me give valid subnet is not a CIDR. So actually what you have to do, let me explain you. And /32 will work like this, or it will work like this, like so. /32 is the necessary at the end. Now let me apply this. It should work. Because if you see this part in the security group, let me go in the security group. So you cannot mention, let's say I wanted to mention 10.0.0/56. So you have to mention automatically. They will prompt you that you have to give 32 at the end, because this is a fixed IP. The fixed IP will be referring using that name only, 32 only. Still destroying the instances, and they will still create. I'm doing the extra work, like how you can restrict someone to shouldn't, like they should not be able to cross the firewall, and then the requirement should be satisfied as well. So this part we have to like in your company they will not tell you that to maintain all traffic. We are just testing it, so that's why we are giving you the right approach. The security public instance created, and private is okay, public is also created, and then private is creating, and then creation of your security group is created. It will take 30 seconds. Till 30 seconds it will last, and it will just complete it. So this part is done. Now if you go back to the security group, and if you search for the not allow TLS, let me refresh it. So allow TLS will be, but see the name of it. So this is public one. So in the public one you will not find any, like it will all traffic. We have mentioned all traffic. Okay, this is all traffic. But in the private one, private one. So go back to the private. Let me go back to private, this one. So this one, and if you go here, and they will tell you edit inbound rule. So they will tell you this part, like only one this part able to access all traffic of your, and this IP is of your public one, public instance. So when you go in your EC2 instances, security groups, in the instances, let me close this, which is running, and if you go to the public instances, and if you try to connect it, it is same or different, I'm not sure. Let me connect it. It's connecting now. If you ping the if you ping the private one, So it's see, it's working. So only this can able to ping, but not the other user. Okay, so this is one is a thing, and only this can able to ping. But if you make the changes, let's say I wanted to make the changes in your let me go in the private one, and let me go in the security group. I'm going the private one and the private OS SG. So in this, what I will do, I will just try to edit this, and I will just copy this for reference, and I will mention something. Let's say I'm mentioning 2 here. Okay, 2, or let's say 3. Save this rule. Okay, after saving this, now if you go back to this, and if you wanted to connect the same one, you cannot able to connect. Why? Because we doesn't allow that range of IP. We have allowed this range of IP. We doesn't allow 10.0.3 dot something. And if you go back to this, and if you edit this again, and if you make changes 1.69, save it, and if you see, it's pinging now. This is the fun part, you can do it. Okay, so that's all. I hope you have learned a lot in this session, like to practical implementation, how you work in your company, and how you solve the solve the problems related to your firewalls, related to your connectivity, what is bastion host, what is public instances, security group, how to restrict someone to go in your EC2 instances. Bastion host will be accessed by all users, whereas database instances or private instances will not be accessed by the all user. So we have discussed this so far. So this is a full-fledged Terraform from basic to beginner, basic to advanced, and then you can refer your friend to just watch this video to start your Terraform training from the scratch level to the very advanced level. In the next few days, or after the completion of Terraform, the important concept of Terraform and practical implementation of the AWS cloud, we will be using GitLab to automate. Like what we are doing, we are doing manually. So we will be using GitLab to automate, or to continuously integrate with the Terraform and continuously apply to the AWS environment. So that is we will be doing. So just refer your friend, do like this video, comment this video, what you didn't understand, let me know, or let me mention in the group of your WhatsApp, which we have created for you, as to give the maximum facility to learn these technical tools. Like I'm not charging, like free of cost. So yeah, so I just wanted to grow community, and to to give the best quality of teaching to different students, so they can grow in their culture. Okay, so just making this the whole practical. I hope you understand this practical very well, and this is the live testing I have done. I haven't just given you the code, and then I have made the entire thing from scratch. So everything you can just try to grasp it easily, and you can relate all the concepts. But let me know if you have any queries. I will try to solve so thanks for joining. See you in the next session.